thank you for visiting me. I'm over here all by myself maybe because they said there's something wrong with our family. I don't know. They said that Hannah wasn't right, but and they said that Thomas wasn't right, and they said that David wasn't right, but I don't think there was anything wrong with any of my children. I think they were all just very, very good children, and they had a hard life. I had 10 children, and I did the best I could for the 10 children. I don't think Hannah meant to kill me when she hit me in the head with that axe. I think she tripped on the hearthstone. It was a cold night, and she was bringing in firewood, and I think she tripped on her skirts or the hearthstone, and they should have watched her better, because she was so upset over hurting me that she slit her throat and joined me on the other side, like within the year. And then Thomas must have been very upset because he died in the fire when he burnt down Joseph's house. And David did some very bad things, and they put him away, and I don't think there was any reason for them to put him away. My grandson was a very good boy. And Hannah's 9 children were all good children too. I don't know why they said that there was something wrong with my family.
In Washburn, I was 61 when I died. I lived a very happy life, I will say. I was 30 years old when I had my first child. Unfortunately, she was born in December, when it was below freezing in the house. And unfortunately, when you have a child, they need to be kept warm, and we weren't able to keep her warm enough. But she unfortunately did not make it. But my 6 other kids went to university, and they lived to be very successful people.
We were not buried here in the cemetery, but as you can tell, we're not sure when we passed away. But we do know that we were very young when we passed away. I was around the age of 14, and Lydia was around the age of 20. At the time, I had fallen very, very ill with the flu, and that is a very rough disease. They didn't really have medication and antibiotics to help with these diseases. And Lydia, being my only sister, really the responsibility fell onto her of taking care of myself. And in doing so, Lydia had fallen very ill with the flu as well, become sick, and we had both sadly passed away.
They would bring us extra produce from their farm and leave it gently on the porch because they thought we weren't able to do this ourselves. She was able to do this, and 6 months after she passed on, I followed because it was too hard to keep my house going alone.
But we did, they did help us with a beautiful house. Still stands today. I saw it.
Yeah.
Right down that road, beautiful, beautiful home. It took a long time to get that house.
Mm-hmm.
People were very religious, and we knew everybody that was in town, and everybody was very close.
Why was the economy so prosperous?
The lands were very fertile. The farms were very fertile, and there was, people were just successful for whatever. There's a lot of commerce. I mean, there were in 1790 there were 1,700 people living here. In Boston, there were 15,000. So, you consider it was a big town.
Joseph, our son, was named for my uncle, and at the Battle of Bunker Hill, he did die at that battle, but he was extremely well known and was a personal friend of Paul Revere, and he was the one that gave the charge to Paul Revere to go out and to warn all the others. So we're very proud of my uncle, and that's why we gave our youngest that name, Joseph.
Of course, our other uncle was Timothy Ruggles.
I'm not so proud of him.
Who wasn't as popular here in
popular.
Hardwick at the time.
And we always say it's very interesting. I don't know if people do this now, but people actually argued about politics back then. And it really was divisive about my uncle, and it really divided our family.
And I really benefited from that because, again, he was the general, and once he got run out of town on a rail, I was elected to be Brigadier General of the forces here in the Hardwick area.